Hey guys, so we did a demonstration in class explaining our digestive system and the path that our food takes from when we put it in our mouth to when it comes out. So we are going to look at our stomach and two specific types of digestion. So let's pretend that this bag is my stomach, and remember, our stomach is not a gallon big. It's just about the size of your fist, and it sits right here. Well, our stomach has this really important liquid in it called stomach acid. Now that stomach acid, we're going to use our OJ, or our orange juice, as an example of stomach acid. And why we do that is because it's citrusy. It's got a little spice to it. So the orange juice, or the chemical stomach acid, sits in our stomach all the time. This is why it might hurt when you haven't eaten enough, because that stomach acid is just sitting there without anything to absorb. So our stomach naturally has this acid in it, and when you think of acid, you can think of like the actual stuff that burns. So we learned in class that if our stomach acid gets too high, we could end up with stomach ulcers where it literally eats away at your stomach, which is made of muscle. We also learned that our heartburn has nothing to do with our heart. Heartburn is this stomach acid coming back up your food tube, which we now know is called our esophagus. And our esophagus sits right here in our chest, so it kind of hurts. It feels like our heart is burning. It has nothing to do with our heart. So our stomach acid is just sitting in there, and now it's time to have a snack. So I'm gonna eat some crackers. I'm gonna have a little bit of saltine, and obviously we're gonna do the challenge where you try to eat all of them. Eat as many as you can without using water. Just kidding, I'm not a crazy person. We're just gonna crunch them up in here. So we're just gonna crunch up our crackers, just like we would chew. Goes down our food tube and into our stomach. So it's going down our food tube, our mouths are munching it up. Well, the first thing I notice is that my crunchies have now gotten soggy. They've landed into the stomach acid and it creates kind of this sog. But it's not quite there yet because it still has these full chunky pieces. So our first type of digestion, or the first thing our stomach does, is chemical digestion. Chemical. And the chemicals that we're working with are stomach acid. Well, we're not done yet. What if I eat something bigger or more nutritious or more dense than a cracker? Well, Miss Humphries used bananas in her example in class, and she took her banana home, and her mother had the audacity to eat that banana. So we're gonna use a muffin because it was gross. We tried to make them with whole wheat flour and it was nasty. So I'm gonna take a big old chunk of my muffin, and I'm hungry, so I'm gonna just drop it in there. Big old chunk of my muffin, chew that up and drop it in. Chew it up, drop it in, chew it up and drop it in. So now we don't quite get the same soggy immersed kind of situation there. So the next part, our next process of digestion is called mechanical, like a machine. Because we know our digestive system is made of muscle, those muscles are going to contract and relax. Contract and relax. Contract and relax. And we're gonna keep doing this, and this is what you feel when after you eat a big meal and your tummy is all big and bloated. This is what's happening, is contracting and relaxing, contracting and relaxing. So the smooshing, the smushing, the smooshes are mechanical. So we have two kinds: chemical, which is our stomach acid, and mechanical, which is our muscle. So we've smooshed this all together, right? And it is now in our system as kind of this, right? It kind of looks like this, looks like throw up, right? Ugh. And we talked about in class that throwing up something is so painful and uncomfortable because that stomach acid comes up our food tube, also known as our esophagus, and it comes out, and our food tube and our throat are not meant to have stomach acid in them. So this hurts. So we have now churned this all up. It's chemically and mechanically digested, and now it's going to go into our small intestine. Well, we know our small intestine is not small. We know it's called small because the diameter is thinner. It's smaller, but it is almost 20 feet long. And Miss Humphries doesn't have anyone here right now, so she's not going to play with the tape measure and snap herself in the face. But we remember from our in-class demonstration that our small intestine is almost 20 feet long. And our large intestine is called large because it's so large. And it only goes around the outside of our stomach right here. And that's what actually makes our poop. And then it comes out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is digestion, aka breaking down food.